So back when I bought the Mark IV, she came with 2 sets of wheels. It came with the CCWs that we've been running on this car since day one, and it came with this set of TEs. Now these TEs aren't really a good spec for the Mark IV, and they're kind of beat up, so I've never ran them on that car. I was initially going to put them on an 8 or 9, but I think they're going to be a perfect temporary fit on the all-wheel drive Civ. Hello?
Hi, horse.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Really? Boosted is finally back open. It was shut down for like 2 months. There was a water leak that flooded the entire stand and ruined all the equipment. So we finally got that all fixed, and today was opening day. I know Bobby's excited. I am too. If I'm not mistaken, these are a 9, yeah, so 18 by 9.5, 35 offset. These are some OG TEs. And like I said, they're not the nicest condition. They're pretty rashed up, but for a temporary wheel, they will do the trick. The TEs are on, and it's time she goes on the ground for the first time ever. These wheels actually look pretty good on here. I might just get some Meteor tires and run them. Here she is, my friends. She's out and about. Damn. This is insane. It's so crazy how long this project was like in the back of my mind for, and I was always so nervous to even start on it because I thought I would never be able to accomplish it and finish it. I know it's not done yet, but the fact that I've made it this far by myself with really no outside like fabrication help, and that I've been able to learn all of the skills necessary to get it to this point, I'm proud. I'm very, very excited. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before or not, but my initial plan, because I doubted myself so much, was to tear the car apart and just drop it off at a fab shop. They were gonna do the motor mounts, all the drivetrain stuff, mounting the rear diff, figure out all the axles, figure out the drive shaft. My initial plan was to have them do all of that stuff. And I'm glad I didn't, because that has been the most rewarding thing, is trying to figure it out by myself. And we now have a Type R that's on the ground with every one of those things that I just listed off done by me. Not trying to brag or anything, but I'm letting you guys know that if I can somehow achieve and figure it out, I think you guys could figure it out too, because I'm definitely not the smartest tool in the shed. Went ahead and gave the car a bath. Much better looking now. All right, I know you guys wanted to see some wiring stuff today, figure out what we're gonna do for an ECU and maybe some turbo stuff as well. And I really wanted to as well. But remember how earlier I said I'm not the brightest tool in the shed? I'm not trying to like say that I'm stupid, but I did something pretty stupid. And I had a feeling that this might be the case and might be the scenario. But if we go ahead and crawl under the car, try not to get wet down here, but if we go ahead and zoom in on our axle. Okay, where's my axle? You see my axle? You see that line on the axle? She's rubbing on the subframe. That's shitty. You know why that's shitty? Because we gotta fix that. I already clearance out that subframe right there about 1.5 inches maybe, and I thought that was gonna be plenty, so I didn't even double check it. Obviously I should have, because now we have to redo all of our work, or not all of our work. We have to spend a couple hours minimum to fix that issue. So let's go ahead and get the car back up on the lift. Everything with the rear's gotta come back out, and we gotta make some mods to that subframe. Yeah, double check your work, especially before powder coating and doing the final assembly. The only parts I actually removed was the LCAs, the springs, and the diff. Everything else I just disconnected. All the other arms are still up in here. We have the shocks holding everything together. So that actually only took about 15 minutes to pull the subframe. Very easy. I'm gonna cut there. I'm gonna cut there. I'm gonna put it back in the car, make sure we have no clearance issues whatsoever, and then we can fix the powder coat on it. I got her notched out, mocked back up with a diff and the axles. Let's jack the wheel up and see if it clears. It's 1,000 times better, but I'm still worried that if we hit a big enough bump to where it sinks the wheel that much, it's gonna smack the axle. And that's the last thing that I want. So let's pull this subframe, clearance it more, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when we're all done, because this is annoying. I clearanced it enough to where if we hit a bump that compresses the suspension to where the wheel is hitting the body, the axle is not hitting the subframe. And this is how it looks fully compressed. Look at the angle on the axle. Yeah, at that point, everything's breaking. And let's be honest, this car is never gonna compress that much. So now we gotta fix the powder coat. So I put the subframe in the oven, got it all the way back up to temp, and now I'm gonna pull it out and shoot it while it's hot. Pull it out, shoot it right out of the oven. Ooh, that's warm. We are attempting a patch job on powder coat. I don't know if it's a thing, but I'm really not trying to strip the whole subframe right now. So let's see how this works. I don't think it's gonna look as good as it did before, but if it's a 9 out of 10, I'll be happy. If it's like a 2 out of 10, we'll have to redo the whole subframe. So the part we just sprayed is super glossy compared to the more matte or satin finish of the rest of the subframe. But let's go ahead and bake it, and hopefully magic happens and it just all flows together and you can never tell. That's the goal. Subframe is back out of the oven, and as long as the powder coat holds up, you'd never be able to tell. I patched it up right there. There's a little tiny line where the edge of the powder was right there. What else? That's about it. So I'm pleased with that. Did not know that you could do a patch repair job on powder. I hope it doesn't fail at all, but it's not a high impact point like a wheel would be where it's getting like hit with rocks and debris. So I think we should be good. While we are waiting on the subframe to cool down, I want to give you guys a sneak peek of this Friday's Vossen Apparel drop. If you don't know what Vossen Apparel is, it is a company, a brand I started back in 2018 because I noticed a huge lack of quality automotive-based apparel. And I've made it, and we've made it our mission to create the highest quality automotive-based apparel in the game. Let me show you guys what we got. First up, here's a hat, curved bill. I'm a big curved bill boy these days. Nice leather patch. We got it in a black flat bill. Being that summer's coming up right around the, well, summer's I guess kind of here. We're only dropping one hoodie. This is the build the car you've always dreamed of hoodie. Vossen Apparel on the front. On the back, build the car you've always dreamed of. A couple months back, we dropped a God Loves Fast Cars t-shirt and some hoodies and whatnot. You guys loved it, so we came back with a V2. Bam, there's the front, and bam, there's the back. Every t-shirt we ever drop, American flag on the right sleeve, and every single t-shirt, always, quality is #1. Sewn on hem tags. Also have the God Loves Fast Cars V2 in white, in the same build, the car you've always dreamed of in the t-shirts. We got it in black, and we have it in this red or cardinal color. And then we also have the Just Boosted Jet tag that we're gonna drop, and then this guy as well. Don't let your friends drive lame cars. Air fresheners. And there's a little preview of what we got this Friday at 11 a.m. PST. I'm not asking you guys to buy anything, but if you're sick of buying car-based apparel and you're sick of it being trash quality and it lasts like a week or two, you may want to consider, because it is the best. Well, what I thought was gonna be maybe a 3-hour lesson turned into a full day lesson, which sucks, but it's okay because I learned my lesson to not be dumb. She's all back together. I don't need to lower the car like I was, I don't need to raise the car like I was going to because we didn't have any axle clearance. What do we have before? 2 fingers? Huh, we have like 4 fingers now. We have so much space up in there. And as you guys saw earlier, the car wasn't even all that slammed, so we don't need to raise it up and worry about axle clearance anymore, which is cool. There is something else that we do need to worry about before we make any more progress on the FK8. So this is Trey's G. Trey's been working here for maybe 8 or 9, maybe going on 10 months. He took the last week off to go to Hype Fest. Just before he left, he decided to break his car. If I'm not mistaken, he does clutch kick this thing around pretty much every corner. And the beloved clutch fork ball that screws in right there, that thing snapped in half. Before my man Trey gets back today, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this thing, put it back together for him so he has a nice G that's not broken to drive when he gets home. So in this box should be all the parts necessary to fix this thing. We have some gear oil. I'm guessing this here is the throwout bearing. You have the replacement ball, and you have some other goodies as well. All right, this thing's all assembled, ready to go back in the car. I've never done any sort of G or Z stuff before, so I wanna see how fast I can do this. It's currently 8:43. If I can have it done by like 11, I'd be happy, because I think he gets back at 11. Alrighty, the car is all back together, and I am an hour earlier than I thought I would be. Not bad for a noob. Never have touched a VQ or anything of the sort. In these 3 packages should be everything needed to make this thing run. So first up, we have a harness. This is a complete engine harness from my good friends at K-Tuned. This is their race grade tucked engine harness. Very, very nice, high quality. Should have every single output that we need. So big shout out to K-Tuned for supplying this harness. And then we are working with none other than the best for our engine management. So this here is the plug and play adapter from Haltech. It says it's for a Civic EP3, but as far as I'm aware, this is gonna work fine with our harness. So there's that, little intake air temp sensor, and then the holy grail. First up, you guys have been wondering, I've seen a lot of questions about what we're gonna do for engine management and for a dash. We're gonna be running the Haltech IC7. Unfortunately, no one makes a dash mount for the FK8 yet, so we're gonna have to figure that out later on. But hopefully that's not too big of a deal. So there's that. Here is, what is this? This is the wideband, so WB1 single channel Bosch wideband kit, and the ECU itself. A Haltech Elite 2500. Oof. Look at this beautiful thing. Made in Australia. Haha. I'm assuming I'm gonna probably put this in like the glove box or maybe even behind the glove box. I want to keep the interior as OEM as possible. So when you open the glove box, it'd be cool to not even see the Haltech. Not that it's ugly or anything, but I just want her stock looking. Little cable for the Haltech. Here we have pretty much, well, it is the whole entire wiring system laid out. So let's start with the dash. The Haltech IC7 runs to the Elite 2500. Comes out, we have this plug and play adapter, the Haltech plug and play adapter that plugs right into the K-Tuned harness. So all that's gonna go control the engine, injectors, coils, all that BS. And then we have this plug-in right here, and this would typically plug into like the other black Honda that I have, the EM1, but of course it's not gonna plug into the Type R. So we need to find a pinout of what all of these wires are for, and we need to connect them to whatever we need on the car. So like fuel pump, all that good stuff is gonna be on this here. So everything is pretty much plug and play except for this guy. I'm very excited to install this harness on the engine. It should look very nice and clean. Everything's labeled pretty nicely. TPS, shift, rev, coil, all the injector stuff. So yeah, this is all easy. We just need to figure out this plugin right here. And I think I just found it. So it is called a C101 connector. Shout out to Brian if you're watching this video for helping me out. So C101, what does it say this is all for? This is confusing when you've never done it before. Low oil pressure indicator, we don't need that. Circuit E90, don't know what that is. Starting system. Yeah, this is gonna take me a minute to figure out for sure. Here is another perfect and prime example of me not knowing what the hell I am doing. I've stared at a couple diagrams for a few hours now. Probably not a few hours, maybe an hour. So this is the last thing that we need to figure out. This all connects to reverse lights, ignition coil power for the injectors, and some other things as well. So it's not really making any sense to me. I'm gonna sit here for a while and try to figure it out, but I'm gonna wrap up today's video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, tomorrow is the Boston Apparel drop, 11 a.m. PST. Don't miss out. We're only live for 24 hours. And if you want to pick up any of these products that we are installing on the K-Swap, all-wheel drive FK8, I will link all this stuff down in the description box below. Peace.